do a little flow this morning, get some movement into our spine, kind of start to reverse some of the tech bod we've developed during quarantine, and then also create some heat in our core, throughout our whole body as well. I have my Christmas lights up, it's the holiday season, and with kind of any sort of changing season, but especially the holidays, our routines start to get really jumbled and we're not sticking to a schedule. Maybe that's a schedule for your workouts in your body, or maybe it's your work schedule or whatever it is. And so with that, there can be some unnecessary stress that starts to build up in your muscles and in your body. So we'll work through a little bit of that. We'll start today standing. So just come to the back of your mat and plant your feet about hips width distance apart, and then stand up really tall. Bring your palms by your side, face them forward, just let your fingertips drape down, and if it feels good, close your eyes or soften your gaze. And just take a moment to notice what's happening around you. And without becoming attached, just take in any sounds, any smells. Maybe your internal gaze catches some light underneath your eyeballs. And just notice these things, and then move forward. Feel your feet planting down into your mat. And then feel a whole line of energy from the top of your head, falling down through the soles of your feet into your mat. So we'll start standing today, but we'll still feel that sense of groundedness, connection to our mat, to the earth, feeling energy falling through our bodies and into the ground. Take a big breath in, fill all the way up. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. And one more like that, inhale, fill all the way up. Maybe you grow an inch taller. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. One more inhale through your nose, seal your lips. Exhale through your nose, your Ujjayi pranayama. One more like that, a textured inhale through your nose. Constricting in the back of your throat, exhale through your nose. Inhale, flutter your eyes open. Exhale, Samastitihi, bring your hands to heart center. Without losing your breath, bring your attention to your pelvis. And think of your pelvis like a bowl. So you're going to tip your bowl so that your hip tips, the front of your bowl, starts to rotate up towards the ceiling. And then the back of your bowl, the back of your hips, your tailbone starts to drop towards the earth. So if your pelvis was full of water, no water would be spilling out of the front or the back. Create one long spine here. And then see if you can focus your energy on the fronts of your hips and then the space in between your hips and your lower abs, and see if you can draw it together. Option to take your hands to your hips and just sort of move some energy together. So we're closing off this space, helping to engage our pelvic floor here, while simultaneously letting our tailbone fall heavy towards the mat. Activating our seed center here. It lives in our lower core. Said that all movement comes from this area. So if you have a strong pelvic floor, a strong seed center, then you should be able to do anything on your mat and off your mat. Inhale, bring your arms up and overhead, mountain pose, Tadasana. Spiral your pinky fingers inward. Hold on to that bowl. No water tipping forward or back with our arms overhead. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears. Inhale here. Exhale, open twist to the right. Drop your right fingertips down and back. Gaze either sideways or back at your back fingertips. Take a micro bend through your elbow, and then notice if your right hip wants to help you with the twist. Instead, bring your right hip tip forward. Don't let that pelvic bowl tip one way or the other. Inhale, rise up, mountain pose. Exhale, open twist to the left. Again, being mindful of our left hip tip this time. Micro bend through your arms. Maybe create more opening through your chest. Inhale to center. Exhale, open twist to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, open twist to the left. Inhale to center, filling all the way up. And then moving with your breath, exhale, open twist. Inhale to center. Exhale, open twist, holding onto your seat center. Inhale to center. Exhale, side body stretch to the right. So drop your right fingertips down, root down through your left foot. And start to create some space between your rib cage on your left side. Breathe here. Belly button pulling into your spine. Inhale all the way up through center. Exhale, side body stretch to the left, pushing down through your right foot this time, creating more space along the right side of your body. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. Breathe. Inhale up through center, and then we'll flow. Exhale, side body stretch to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale, side body stretch to the left. Inhale through center, continuing to breathe. Exhale, side body stretch. Inhale through center. Exhale, side body stretch to the left. Inhale through center. Standing mountain pose for a second. Reconnect to your shoulders, to your pelvis. Micro bend through your knees. Inhale to stay. Exhale, clasp your hands behind your back. Chest expansion. Punch your knuckles down towards the earth. Keep your palms together. Micro bend through your elbows. Gaze up at the ceiling. Start to open up through your collarbones, through the front of your rib cage. Keep your belly button connected to your spine. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Keeping that chest expansion. Palms together. Option to just keep your fist at your lower back. Or if it feels good here, you can start to drop your fist forward towards the mat. And just let the crown of your head hang heavy. This is our first big hamstring opener of class, so feel free to bend through your knees. Maybe you rest your belly onto your thighs. And really relax your jaw here. Nod your head yes, nod your head no. And then slowly release your bind and bring your hands down, plant them on the earth. Little open twist to the right, bend through your left knee, plant your left hand in the center of your feet and open your right fingertips all the way up to the sky. Breathe here for a moment, just feel your rib cage opening farther towards the right side of your room. Inhale. Exhale, switch it out, bend through your right knee, plant your right fingertips down, and then opening up towards the left. Breathe here. Think of someone lifting your left armpit even higher towards the sky, so there's still some length happening. Exhale through center, walking your fingertips forward, find a high plank position. So stacking your wrists right underneath your shoulders, thinking of pushing your upper back up towards the ceiling. Belly button is pulling up and in, and then again, checking in with our pelvic bowl. So this time, we're bringing our hip tips towards our wrists and our tailbone towards our heels. On your next inhale, shift forward, just 1 inch, shifting your weight farther into your fingertips, micro bend through your elbows. And then exhale, shift it back. Inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, shifting back. Inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, modified side plank to the right. So dropping your left knee down, paralleling it with the short edge of your mat, and then opening up your right fingertips towards the sky. Option to gaze up at your top hands, but more importantly, press down into your bottom palm, lifting up and out of your shoulder. Again, that feeling of someone lifting your right armpit even higher towards the ceiling. Inhale here. Exhale, hold even tighter. Inhale, gate pose, lifting all the way up. Baby side body stretch over to the right. Gaze up at the ceiling, just feel your pelvis neutralizing your belly button, pulling up and in. Exhale, plant your hands down. One more breath in, high plank pose. Exhale, modified side plank to the left. Paralleling your right knee with the short edge of your mat, and then your left palm reaches up towards the ceiling. Pressing firmly into your right palm. Lifting up through your left armpit, belly button pulling up and in. Big breath in. Big breath out. Maybe you lift even taller. Inhale, gate pose. Baby side stretch over to the left. Gazing up at your top fingertips, neutralizing your pelvis, belly button pulls up and in. Exhale, plant your hands down. High plank pose, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Send your tailbone up and back. And as you arrive in your down dog, feel free to take any organic wiggles that you feel necessary. You can bend one knee, then the other. Maybe you play with the direction that your hands are facing. Maybe you take your pointer finger forward instead of your middle finger. We can often find more support through our wrists, just with a tiny rotation outwards in our palm. And then gaze under your right armpit. Gaze under your left armpit. Close through the front of your ribs, belly button to spine, and then send your tailbone higher towards the sky. Inhale here. Exhale, full plank. Melting forward, arriving, belly button pulling up and in. Inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog, sending your tailbone up and back. We'll flow through that one more time. Inhale, high plank pose, stacking your shoulders over your wrists. Exhale, sending your tailbone high towards the sky. Warming up through our shoulders. One more time. Inhale, high plank pose. Exhale, lower your belly all the way towards the mat. Option to go knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, cobra pose. Send the crown of your head forward and up. Opening up through your collarbones, belly button pulling up and away from the mat. Again, making sure that our pubic bone is driving down into the mat. Our tailbone is dropping towards our heels. Inhale to stay. Exhale, release forehead to mat. One more time, inhale, cobra pose. Squeezing your shoulder blades together behind you. Strengthening through the entire back line of your body. Pretend like someone is grabbing onto the nape of your neck and pulling it up and forward. Inhale. Exhale, drop it down. Planting your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, high plank pose and or tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, walking your hands back towards your feet. Exhale, ragdoll. Grab for opposite elbows. Huge bend through your knees. Take a little sway from side to side. Inhale, plant your hands down, toe heel your feet together. We'll take a halfway lift, high halfway lift. So you're gonna plant your palms into your quads and the crown of your head forward, your tailbone back behind you. Closing through the fronts of your ribs, belly button pulls up and away from your thighs. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana, reaching your hands up and overhead. Exhale, open twist to the right. Inhale, mountain pose, find your center. Exhale, open twist to the left. Inhale, mountain pose, center yourself. Exhale, side body stretch to the right. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, side body stretch to the left. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, find your chest expansion. Maybe you clasp the opposite thumb on top this time. Inhale, puffing up your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, keeping your bind, finding that same halfway lift spine. Sending the crown of your head forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, walking your hands forward, high plank pose. Exhale, modified side plank to the right, dropping your left knee down, right fingers reach up. Big breath in here. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, gauge pose, reaching all the way up, side body stretch. Exhale, planting your hands down. Inhale, high plank, find center. Exhale, modified side plank to the opposite side. Left fingertips reach up this time, big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, gate pose, reaching up and back. Create more space on the right side of your body. Exhale, plant your hands down. Inhale, high plank pose. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin, hugging your elbows into your body. Inhale, cobra pose. One time. Exhale, rest your forehead down onto your mat. Inhale, high plank pose or tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in to reset. Open mouth, exhale, let go of some heat, let go of some tension. Inhale, walking your hands back toward your feet. Exhale, bring your toes to touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your palms on your thighs, crown of your head forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana, reaching your fingertips up and overhead. Exhale, open twist to the right. Inhale, mountain pose, reaching long. Exhale, open twist to the left. Inhale, mountain pose, reaching tall. Exhale, side body stretch to the right. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, side body stretch to the left. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, chest expansion. Clasp your hands behind your back. Punch your knuckles down towards the ground. Puff up your chest. Inhale. Exhale, keeping that chest expansion, forward fold. Keeping the grip in your hands. Inhale, halfway lifts. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, high plank pose, walking your hands forward. Exhale, listen. Full side plank to the right. Sending your right fingertips up towards the ceiling, pressing down through that palm. Lifting up and out of your bottom armpit as you simultaneously reach your top armpit higher towards the sky. Inhale, lift your hips even higher. Exhale, high plank pose, plant that hand down. Inhale to stay. Exhale, side plank to the left. Sending your left fingertips high towards the sky. Again, pressing that palm down into the mat, lifting up through your bottom armpit as you simultaneously lift up through your top armpit. Inhale, hips get even higher. Exhale, high plank pose. Inhale, shifting forward to your fingertips. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, lower halfway down. Hugging your elbows into your chest. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Let something go. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, slowly, mindfully, walking your feet towards your hands. Bring your big toes to touch right away this time. Inhale, halfway lift. Press your palms into your thighs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Sit your tailbone down and back. Lift your arms up and overhead to frame your ears. Just pause and breathe here. Belly button pulls up and away from your thighs. Squeeze your inner thighs towards one another. And then sit your weight so far back in your heels that you can see your toes and maybe wiggle them a little bit on the opposite side of your knee. Inhale. Exhale, airplane your arms, keeping that low seat in your chair. And just bringing your fingertips down and back. Palms face the earth. Squeezing your shoulder blades together behind you, the crown of your head shoots forward. Inhale, rising all the way up, plant down through your right foot. Your left knee comes up. One-legged Tadasana. Flexing your left toes towards your face. Your belly button is scooping up and in. Think of one line of energy from your knee through your core. So your core is what is allowing your left knee to be lifted. Inhale. Exhale, chair pose with airplane arms. Sink deep. Fingertips reaching down and back. Inhale, one-legged mountain pose on the left. Lifting your right knee up and in. Belly button is scooping up. Again, one line of energy from your right knee up through your belly. And then take a micro bend through your standing side. So we're really engaged. We're really rooting down through our left leg. Let's flow. Exhale, chair pose with airplane arms. Inhale, one-legged mountain, left leg goes up. Inhale to stay. Exhale, chair pose with airplane arms. Inhale, one-legged mountain. Exhale. One more inhale to stay. Exhale, chair pose with airplane arms. Inhale, mountain pose, reach all the way up. Take a baby back bend, prayer hands. Exhale, forward fold, reset. Inhale, halfway lift, pressing palms into thighs. Exhale, high plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, flow your chaturanga. Option to take a cobra pose instead of upward facing dog, or option to skip it all together. Inhale. Exhale, we meet back in downward facing dog, sending your tailbone up towards the sky. Inhale, lifting your right leg high, down dog kick. Exhale, step it through, find your low lunge. Our first low lunge of class. So just take a couple breaths to rock forward and back. Work into that back ankle a little bit and start to open up through the front of your left hip. And then planting your left fingertips down, inhale, low lunge twist, opening up to the right. Inhale to stay. Exhale, plant your hand back down. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, or a crescent moon. Drop that back knee down, lift your fingertips up and overhead. And rather than focusing on the stretch through the front of your left hip, think about pushing down through that front heel. So we're really activating our right hamstring here. Checking in with that pelvic bowl, lifting our hip tips up and our tailbone down. Closing through the front of our rib cage, inhale. Exhale, cactus our arms open, just opening up through our chest, gazing up at the ceiling. Inhale, reaching long overhead. Exhale, find your low lunge, plant your hands down, bring that back knee up and off the ground. Inhale, warrior two, spiraling that back heel down, paralleling it with the short edge of your mat. And then windmilling your arms all the way up to find a horizontal plane. Opening up through our chest. And then seeing if we can square our rib cage towards the long edge of our mat. Again, pretending we are actually pressing down through our front heel, and then aiming to have our front knee stacked over our front ankle. Inhale. Exhale, sink deeper. Inhale, reverse warrior, keeping your legs exactly where they are, and just taking a baby side stretch up and back. Little to no weight in that back hand. Gaze up at your top hand. Inhale. Exhale. Windmill your hands forward. Step back to high plank. Inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Whatever variation serves you. Inhale. Exhale, we meet back in down dog. Inhale, lifting your left heel up and back. Exhale, stepping it through, low lunge. And then again, taking some rocks, forward and back here. Just starting to work into our back ankle as we open up through our right hip. And then inhale, crescent moon, Anjaneyasana, reaching our fingertips up and overhead, pressing down into that front heel. And again, checking in with our pelvic bowl, our belly button is pulling up and in. Inhale. Exhale, cactus your arms open, puffing up your chest, opening up through your collarbones, your elbows come towards the sides of your body. Inhale, return, crescent lunge. Exhale, low lunge, planting your hands down, lifting your back knee up and off the mat. Inhale, warrior two, spiral that back heel down. Windmilling your arms up and open, create that horizontal plane. Gazing over our front fingertips and just feeling our ribcage paralleling towards the long edge of our mat. Our front knee is stacked directly over our front ankle. We're pushing down through our heel to engage our left hamstring. Inhale. Exhale, sink deeper. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Scoop that palm up and back, gaze up at your top fingertips. Easy pressure on your back fingers. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands forward. Step back to your high plank. Inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, or skip it. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward towards your fingertips. Exhale, come down to all fours. We'll just take a couple rounds of cat-cow here. Our spine is nice and warm. Our core is nice and engaged. So let's focus on pushing down through our hands. Inhale, cow pose. Opening up through our chest, belly button's pulling up and in. The palm of my hand is tractioning back towards my knees. Exhale, cat pose. Pushing down through my fingertips, puffing up through the space between my shoulder blades. Inhale, cow pose, squeezing my shoulder blades together behind me. Exhale, cat, finding a stretch between my shoulder blades, my rhomboids. One more like that. Inhale, cow pose. Tuck your back toes. Exhale, hovering cat, pressing down through your fingertips. Knees hover 1 inch off the mat, puffing up through the back of our spine, belly button's pulling up and in. And then making our way back to downward facing dog.
Sending your tailbone up and back. One more big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, lift your right heel up and back. Exhale, step through low lunge. Inhale, low lunge twist, reaching your right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge, full Anjaneyasana this time. You're going to take your fingertips, you're going to take your weight to the tips of your fingers. Starting to press down through the fronts of your heels. Start to maybe hover your hands. So you're doing all the work in your legs now. Inhale, reaching your arms up and overhead, crescent lunge. Breathe here for a moment. Take a generous bend through your back knee so that your pelvic bowl can neutralize. Think of squeezing through your lower core. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. We've been here before. Inhale, stretching through that front knee. Exhale, tipping your weight forward so far that we find triangle pose, Trikonasana. Sending your back fingertips up, opening up through your chest. And then pretending like there's a block between your thighs, your legs, your base here is super active. Like you could squeeze the mat underneath you between your two ankles. Belly button's pulling up and in. Inhale, maybe you hover your bottom hand just an inch. Exhale, bring that top arm all the way down and forward, paralleling your feet towards the short edges of your mat. We'll take a wide-legged forward fold. Generous bend through your knees. Just allow your head to hang heavy here. You can come down onto your elbows. You can shorten your stance. You can widen your stance. Whatever feels most accessible and most supportive to you. And then notice if your mind has started to wander away from this practice. And just bring it back to your breath. Full inhales. Open mouth exhales to release heat if that feels good. Practice shifting your weight forward into your toes and then back into your heels. Inhale, plant your hands underneath your shoulders. Create one long line in your spine, halfway lift. And then exhale, slowly, mindfully walk your fingers back to frame your front foot. Low lunge. Inhale, step your front foot back, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Option to flow your vinyasa if that calls to you. Inhale, lifting your left heel high. Exhale, step it through low lunge. Inhale, low lunge twist, opening up your left fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, spider tip your fingers. We'll make our way to a full Anjaneyasana crescent lunge. Really hike your back heel over the ball of your foot. Start to hover your hands, take the weight into your front heel. Inhale, lifting your arms all the way up and overhead. Again, option to bend that back knee in order for your hips to feel neutral. Our tailbone is not arching here. We're really creating one long line in our spine. And as you breathe into this position, maybe draw your attention to your belly, to those floating ribs that like to flare open when our arms are overhead. One more inhale to sink deeper. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, stretching through that front leg, squeezing that block between your inner thighs. Exhale, tipping your body forward so much that we find our triangle pose. We're opening up through our chest. Fingertips are reaching towards the ceiling. Again, thinking about that top armpit, driving the energy upwards. Inhale, belly button to spine. Maybe you bring your hand to a slight hover off your bottom leg. Exhale, rounding forward, top arm scoops down and under. We parallel our feet to the short edges of our mat. And we find our second wide-legged forward fold of class. Maybe we're able to access it deeper, maybe not. Whatever that is, just let it go. Let go of any expectations you have for this posture. We hold a lot of stress in our bodies, especially in our hips and in our hamstrings. And so sometimes the tightest areas of our body can directly relate to what's happening outside of our practice and in our life. So breathe into those places. Notice those feelings, those thoughts that pop into your brain that maybe don't correlate with what's happening on our mat. But notice what parts of the body you focus on and what feelings come out of those parts of the body. See if you can make a connection to what you're holding on to, what's bringing you tightness, what's bringing you tension. Inhale, halfway lift. Breathe and center yourself. Exhale, walking your fingertips forward towards the top of your mat. Low lunge. Inhale, stepping back, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come down into your elbows here. So we'll find a dolphin pose. It'll be our last inversion of class. Creating an 11 with your forearms, pressing down through your elbows so your shoulders are really supported here. And start to walk your feet in. Maybe you aim to stack your hips directly over your shoulders. Either way, our belly button is scooping up and away from our quads. We're high on our tiptoes. Just breathing, letting the blood rush from your hips down into the crown of your head. Relaxing through your face. Maybe you start to shake. That's your body telling you that it's working. That is your body telling you that it's growing. Inhale. Exhale, drop down to your knees. Find an extended child's pose here. Option to take your knees wide to the edges of your mat, your big toes to touch. Send your tailbone back towards your heels. Lengthen out your arms in front of you and just rest your forehead down onto the mat. I love finding a child's pose towards the end of practice, when your body is nice and warm. We've already done quite a bit of back lengthening in our forward folds. So I find that when we find child's pose later in our practice, when we're warmer, I'm able to focus more on the benefits of being so close to the ground. Pressing my third eye center into the earth, reminding me to center myself, that whatever thoughts I'm having, I can always come back to my breath. I can always connect my body to the earth, to the mat. Sort of reminds myself of why I practice. It's not always about moving my body into crazy shapes or giving myself a workout, getting my heart rate up. It's about centering my brain as well. Inhale, walking your fingers back towards your pelvis. And then make your way onto your seat. Send your legs out in front of you. We'll take a boat pose here. So come farther towards the top of your mat. Squeeze your knees, your heels together. We'll keep our heels planted this time. And as we go into our boat pose, our Navasana, think about creating one long spine here. And as you tip back to that point where your transverse abs want to hold on, maybe you release the grip around your thighs and you let your hands float. Palms up to receive some energy. Think of like you're in like a beach chair where you're reclined and the sun is coming down onto your face, onto your palms, onto your chest. It's relaxing. We all need a little bit more sunshine this time of year. Inhale, maybe you bring your hands up and overhead, framing your ears with your biceps, dropping your shoulders away. Exhale, let it go, rolling slowly down onto our back. We'll take a couple sets of bridge pose, so bringing your feet closer towards your hips. Maybe you can graze the heels, your heels, with your fingertips. And then again, imagining like we're squeezing a block between our legs. Inhale, bridge pose, lifting our pelvis up and away from the mat. And today let's start with creating one long line of energy from our knees to our throat. So our back is super flat here. We're not really working into an arch quite yet. Press your heels down into the mat and then traction them back towards your chest. So we're really turning on our glutes and our hamstrings here. Keep that magnetism between your inner thighs. Inhale. Exhale, dropping your pelvis down. Recline bound angle pose or Supta Baddha Konasana. Bringing the soles of your feet to touch, opening your knees wide. Option to bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Just close your eyes for a second. So while child's pose allows us to ground down with our forehead pressing into the earth, Supta Baddha Konasana allows us to ground down in a more open and receiving position. So again, imagining sunshine, warm light is being absorbed through the entire front line of your body, while you feel kind of a gentle heaviness through the back line of your body. Inhale, mindfully bring your knees together. Plant the soles of your feet down one more time. We'll take another bridge pose. Inhale, bridge pose, lifting your pelvis up and away. Your tailbone is tipping up towards the sky. And then maybe this time you bring more weight onto your shoulders, continuing to press down through your heels, tractioning them back. And then if it's accessible to you, maybe you walk your shoulder blades underneath your chest and go for a chest expansion. Inhale, continue to magnetize your inner thighs towards one another. Support this with your pelvic floor, pressing your elbows down and towards the mat. Exhale, lowering your pelvis, one vertebrae at a time. Take your feet wide, either outside your mat or to the edges of your mat. And then take your arms out to a T, and then just start to windshield wipe your knees back and forth. Working into your pelvis, using your core to support these subtle twists while simultaneously creating some space into your hip socket. Inhale, hugging your knees into your chest. Just settle in for a second. Feel some compression into your hip sockets. Feel the length of your spine pressing down into the mat. And then maybe rock and roll the length of your spine. Maybe do it a couple times, see if you can get any good adjustments out of your spine. And then eventually sending your heels along in front of you, lengthen out through the backs of your legs, lifting your arms up and overhead, forward fold. Resting your forehead somewhere. So maybe that means you need to bend your knees slightly. Maybe that means you need a block underneath your forehead. And then tucking your chin into your chest, just letting your spine expand here. This is more about opening up through our back than it is about our hamstrings. Just release here. Just feel heavy. Feel open. Feel free of expectation. Just know that whatever expression of this posture you make it to, that's exactly where you need to be in this moment. Inhale, slowly making your way back up to a seat. And then exhale, scooching your pelvis forward, maybe reaching your arms in front of you and just lowering slowly, one vertebrae at a time, down to your back. We'll take a figure 4 on the right, crossing your right ankle up and over your knee, reaching through, grabbing onto that left leg. You can pull it closer to your body, or if that doesn't feel good, you can just leave the sole of your foot planted down onto the mat. And then actively flex through your right foot, opening up your knee towards the side of the room. Thinking of keeping our tailbone reaching down towards the mat, so our entire spine is flat. Our hips, especially our glute max, that's our bigger glute muscle. We tend to store a lot of stress there. So this is one of those moments where we need to really tune into our breath. And if thoughts do pop into our brain, we notice them, we acknowledge that they're there, and then we let them go. Inhale, plant the sole of your foot down. Take your right leg, the leg that's crossed up and over, and you're going to scoop it underneath your left leg. So we're sort of creating a pretzel-y shape here, and then if it's possible, you're going to take your left fingers and grab on to your right foot and pull your foot closer towards your pelvis. This is a nice quad stretch, opening up through the front of our right thigh. And again, just breathing. Our thighs take a lot of the work in our practice. All of the lunges that we do, the chair poses that we do. So give your thigh a little bit of love, a little bit of breath here. Inhale, switch it out. Cross your left ankle over your right leg this time. And then option to stay here or hugging your right knee into your chest. Again, keeping our tailbone rooted down into the mat. One long spine, and then actively flexing through our left toes, opening up our left knee. And then go ahead and notice what hip feels tighter, what hip is holding more. And then, as you take note of that, how can you give that side of your body, that side of your pelvis, a little bit more love? Something I've noticed about myself is that when I'm sitting in a chair in general, I tend to always cross my right leg up and over. And it starts to cause an imbalance in my hips over time. If I'm always crossing one leg over the other, then I'm never giving my other leg an opportunity to kind of create that same action. And that subtle imbalance in my behavior starts to really make some changes in my pelvis. So notice if when you're sitting down watching TV, on the bus, in your car, whatever, do you cross one leg more often over? Go ahead and take that quad stretch variation. So you're going to take that right leg Fit it underneath your right. And then grab onto your foot with the right side with your right hand. And find that quad stretch. I think another way our bodies become imbalanced, especially our hips, is when we're sleeping. Do you bend one leg in a different way than the other? Do you always sleep on the same side of your body? Do you spend 8 hours on the right side of your body, therefore not giving your left side the chance to kind of balance out? Yoga is very revealing in that way. It's like you come down onto your mat and you notice, wow, my left side is tighter than my right, and that might be the cause of my back pain or my this or my that. And yoga is great for that kind of self-study. Inhale, just bring your knees into your chest. Rock your hips from side to side. Give yourself some love. Give your lower back some love. Then one final twist. Keep your right leg into your chest. Send your left leg long. And then twist open towards the left side of your mat. You can tee out your arms. You can cactus your arms. Whatever feels supportive here. Just keep both shoulders rooted down into the mat. Again, whatever expression of this posture you make it to, that is where you're supposed to be. Rather than having any sort of preconceived expectations of what this is supposed to look like or feel like, or even an expectation that whatever it felt like last week or yesterday, that your body changes every day, and that there's new things to discover, there's new things to nourish every time you come to your mat. One more big breath in. Exhale, guide your knee back over your chest. Switch your legs out. Squeezing that left knee into your chest. Inhale. Exhale, guide your knee over your body. Supine twist to the left. This side may look different. Exhale those expectations you have. That one side of your body is supposed to feel or look the same as your other. Notice these differences. Breathe into these differences. And then use that self-study not only on your mat, but in the rest of your life as well. Inhale, neutralize your pelvis, scoop everything into your center. Create one tiny ball in your body, lift your head, your shoulders, your chest up and off, squeeze everything in together. Inhale, exhale, Shavasana, lengthen everything out. Palms open to receive. Imagining that warm light all over the front line of your body. Just let your breath be gentle here. Close your eyes, relax your face. If you have the time, I invite you to stay in this Shavasana for longer. Play with noticing your senses,
Noticing your whole body here. You're ready to get on with your day. Find some tiny movements in your toes, in your fingers. Maybe you open your eyes for a moment. Feel yourself grounded and then close them back again. Tilting your face from one direction to the other. And then slowly making your way up to a seated position, whatever way, whatever journey feels the best to you. And as you plant your sits bones down, lifting your heart high, bring your palms together at your heart center. Closing our practice with one big breath in. Exhale, releasing the light in me. Honors the light in each and every one of you. Bring your hands to hurt the third eye center. Namaste.